All right, my boy Kev on stage. Y'all do me a favor, internet world. Get this video to him. I just want him to watch it. We need to have a conversation. We need to sit down there at the red table. Now I will say this, Kev. I think in general, most things that you get called out for are done in poor taste because people just don't like the fact that you are who you are and that you have the exposure that you have. There are people who are not going to think you're funny. There are going to be people who will never think you're going to be a believer just because you talk to people who are popular and who are in the world. But the problem is, for example, I got a buddy who doesn't really care for your content no more because he doesn't like the fact that you talk about things sexual in nature, eating Gucci, having sex with your wife, even though it's your wife, and the cuss words that you use now. I don't particularly have a problem with it, but I always appreciated that you had the ability to communicate in a way that still was, for lack of a better word, wholesome, but also effective in getting a laugh or proving some type of point. The problem that most people are going to have is that you can't ride the fence as a believer. We can't just say anybody can do anything. I don't care what these people do, because there is a stand that we have to take as believers. But on the other side of the spectrum, where you're not so wrong, is that we're not called to judge the world. We're not called to hold the world accountable. People who don't profess to be believers or who live certain lifestyles openly, not just gay people, there are certain things that just would never and should never be okay with us. It doesn't mean we go out picking fights, but we have to at least take a stance. When you say you are not with us, when I was with y'all for 30 years, hellfire and condemnation, no, sin is still sin. And when we make those choices, we have to have a dividing line that separates us from the world. And that's just the reality. And so it does come off as if you are going along to get along. The last thing I'll say is, I believe that the way that you love on your wife and, the stories that you told, it shows the level of vulnerability and love that most people don't get exposure to. That's why you have the Lou Youngs of the world sitting down talking about you and how real of a dude you are and how you love on your wife and all of those things. But there also has to be a time where you say, hey, this is where I stand in my faith, and this is what is not acceptable. Otherwise, you look like you're treading the line.